How do you then, having recognized the goals, having recognized what is a curriculum, having developed a curriculum based on these goals, how do you implement the curriculum? Well, the first thing we do in implementing a curriculum is to plan appropriate lessons and do so at the same time integrating Islamic values into them. So one of the most important elements of implementation of a curriculum, the very primary element, is for the teacher to look at the curriculum and say, this is the curriculum, this is what I have to achieve in order to satisfy and accomplish the goals. This is the number of days I have, this is the number of hours I have, this is the number of classes I have. How do I develop a lesson plan for each class so that they lead from one to the other and are consistent with the curriculum? So developing appropriate lesson plans is very important. And then because it's an Islamic school, it's very important also to integrate Islamic values in these Islamic plans, in these lesson plans. So the lesson plan calls to do certain things. The teacher has to ask himself or herself, how am I integrating Islamic values in that lesson plan? So the child not only is learning a lesson, it's learning a lesson that has attached to that lesson Islamic values that the child eventually absorbs. Having done that, the second part of the curriculum implementation is to model Islamic behavior and to develop Islamic practices within the system. In other words, the system, the environment, the school should develop and exercise Islamic practices, and the individual teacher and the principal and the administrators should model desired behavior, because we recognize that the children don't learn as much from anything else as they do from the behavior and the conduct of the teacher, because they idealize the teacher and they think whatever the teacher does is the right thing to do. So it's very important that teachers model desired behavior. They model the behavior they want to see in the children. If they want children to be honest, then they have to model the behavior of being honest. If they want children to cooperate with one another, then they have to model the behavior of cooperating with one another. So the second part of implementing the curriculum is modeling the right kind of behavior, the desired behavior. And the third part of implementing the curriculum is evaluating the learning outcomes. We have planned appropriate lessons, we have exercised, we have implemented the lessons, and we have modeled the right kind of behavior. So now there should be some outcomes from this, learning outcomes. And now we have to evaluate those learning outcomes. Are these the learning outcomes that we had intended? And if they're not, what is the gap? How far are they from the learning outcome that we had intended? So evaluating the learning outcomes is very important. And if the learning outcomes need to be changed or are not sufficiently achieved, then we need to go back to the drawing board, change the lesson plans, change the model, behavior modeling, get the new outcomes, evaluate them again, need more changes, go back to the drawing board, and keep going in that circle until we have a very good system of appropriate lesson plans, desired behavior modeled, and satisfactory outcomes from this practice.